inside Thursday night. How's it going? Alright, strip back, good crack, multi-trade podcast. Share the knowledge you know, help to make our sector grow. Everybody's learning from experts and the journeyman. Insights.
Right, we're back. Season 9, episode 2. It's part 2 of our Design Source Ireland special. Trade show last week, podcasting at the show last week. Few sound issues for the sit-down chats, but I think we came into our own when we did our walk around.
Yeah, and look, that was the original plan, was to go walking the stands and meeting everybody, because I think when we did the sit down, we didn't get to actually get around to everyone we wanted to see anyway, so it probably worked in our favour that the last, I think, 2 hours, we ended up doing a marathon of interviews, so it was... And
think about the first episode, we had Graf and Stone, Finsa, we had a good friend Richie Doyle, we had Julian from Fraser Painting. Just getting out there, like you said, chatting to these people, and like Julian and Richie, trades lads, you know what I mean, that are looking to better themselves, looking to, step out of just the norm and put themselves out there for people to see at these trade shows, is probably inspiring, probably for yourself, Keith, just as a business owner, you know what I mean, to see companies do this, like, and maybe take that next step. And you're doing it too, like through the podcast as well, and you had that bit of feedback from the likes of Julian asking were you enjoying it and how was it for you, like, so I guess to fall 100%. Into that category,
Well, that was the whole idea, wasn't it, with the design source thing, so the designers, architects, etc. could tie in with the trades, because from what we found out when we were talking to the different tradespeople and designers, that connection between the two was a bit skewed, or it's not as easy as you think to marry the two together. So when we were talking to Julian, it was evident that type of event was great to marry the two together. And like as you were saying there, with Richie, we've been doing a bit of work with the designers. And even with JDM Woodworks, we're starting to do a bit of work with designers as well. But I think it's kind of like an untapped thing where, if that conduit is a bit better between the two, there's money to be made on both sides, and it benefits the designer and the contractor who's overseeing the whole job, that they can have a team behind them and be able to offer them to the customer.
Yeah. I just think even to get around there, walk around and see what's on show, see the standard of work and the standard of products that these companies and brands and individuals as well are trying to introduce to the Irish market that wouldn't normally be seen in the Irish market, which then sort of makes you have to think outside the box in regards to walking into a customer and offering certain designs to them. Like you mentioned, obviously, in the first episode there when we were talking to Richie, you would have thought back in, 5 to 10 years ago that people were looking for as many downlights as possible along the hallway into the kitchen, and it looked like a landing strip in some people's houses, and now people are starting to think a bit more in regards to, how a certain light bounces off a certain object, how something looks at a certain time of night as well, with garden lighting and stuff like that, and shadows on trees and stuff. And I just think that then keeps you active, it keeps your brain active, it keeps you then developing. And, as a tradesperson, you can probably maybe meet that sort of plateau in your career, like where you've done everything, you've learned everything. And I think with electrics, it's sort of already started with the likes of renewables and the car chargers coming in and having people to think about, like, load capacities and stuff like that, and then DC cabling and stuff, and going back and retrain yourself. Now it's all about design and a bit of architecture and trying to marry that together as well.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Like, as an electrician, there's many questions you have to ask before you actually do a job. Like you said, like the loads and cable routes and stuff like that. But now it's gone as far as like what colour are you painting your walls, because that might decide what colour or what light fixture you use and what colour temperature you use, or what kelvins your lights are and stuff like that. So now you're right in what you said. Like there's a million other questions now that have to be asked, especially when you're going into a high end house and the customer is employing a designer. Do you know what I mean? Now 9 times out of 10, the designer, that's where they come in. They they marry in the likes of Julian, the painter, and me in terms of what colour lights we're going to use or what type, whether it's LED strips or if it's one-off chandeliers. It's and even with Richie and Darren and JDM, like it's the kitchen lighting and stuff like that. It's become huge and really popular.
Do you notice as well when you're going around these trade shows, like you get to see people that you might only talk to on Instagram, or you talk to them on these trade platforms and social platforms as well, and you get to catch people face to face. They see you, they're calling you over, and the bit of excitement in people's faces as well, like to actually just get that community aspect together. Like, as I know that we talk about community so much, like through the podcast, and we talk about how we're sort of like bridging gaps and all that between different trades and trying to get as many people in as possible. And you've the likes of Pete the Builder, like, who would be at a level, like, who's on TV and he's on radio and doing his own podcast as well, and he's recognising us, he's coming over and he's talking to us. And obviously, unfortunately, we had to sit down with a few sound issues, but even the talks of DMs coming in and talking about redoing conversations, that the want is there, that they can see the hard work that we've put in. And obviously the elephant in the room is the new studio here. Like, I think people would have recognised over the last couple of seasons the studio that we would have had in the Robus headquarters, with the sponsorship that we would have had with Robus. Like, and a lot of people sending messages and saying, what's happening, is it the podcast ending? We're leaving the studio and stuff. And obviously we've had a great time with Robus. They backed us,
treated us really well.
Treated us well, backed us from the start, brought us over to the UK, e-fix, stuff like that. Like, I think everybody, like what I was mentioning there in regards to developing yourself as a tradesperson and thinking about these new designs and these new aspects, that has to happen in every part of your life. You know what I mean? You can't allow yourself to plateau personally and professionally, and even with your hobbies. You know what I mean? The better you get at something, I think the more of an outlook you have on where that hobby or that love for like podcasting and chatting to people is going. And I think me and you sat down and we were trying to think of what is the next step for the podcast. I think that is expanding it further with brands and reviews and conversations. And I just think, although you might outgrow a sponsorship, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the road in regards to relationships with people and stuff like that. I just think like they understood our side of it. Conversations were had, and we've come out the other end of it now with the likes of, our season 9 sponsor, who's jumped on, Hager, supporting us per season, which is great. They show support.
Even in the background when they weren't sponsoring, they always wanted to have a hand in what we were doing, and they were always forthcoming with, trying to help out, whether it be, awards to give out at the last awards we done, and obviously with an eye on this year's awards at the end of the year, which we're planning on being bigger and bolder than it was last year. So like what you said, like, just because we're not sponsored by Robus anymore doesn't mean we're taking a step back or a step sideways. Our plan is to step forward. Every episode is to push it, and for ourselves, we have the luxury now of being able to be a little bit closer to home. So personally, for us, it makes sense. Andrew and N2 has been kind enough to give us this space, which was very generous. And
shopping today.
Did
a bit of shopping today.
And thanks to our sponsors, Hager and Snickers Workwear, for giving us the funds basically to be able to go and get studio lights, wall paneling. Second-hand table. Second-hand table. We wanted a second-hand table, and like
rough and ready,
new and polished wasn't what we were looking for. So
recycling and stuff is a major part, and that was another part of it as well. It's just you can overthink so much in regards to funds and sponsorship and money, but when you have that type of will and want to make it work. You get there, and myself and yourself have been here for the last few hours, you know, putting the acoustic panels together, getting the lights set up, getting the cables in place, and I don't think we could be any prouder of ourselves for how it looks. I think it's turned out really well, and big shout out to Lindsay and Kevin and Karen and Hager as well, and like you said, Andy and N2 and the staff in N2 for accommodating us here. And I just think, the road is bright for the future going forward, and there's a lot of conversations to be had here at this table now going forward for season 9, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, nail on the head to everyone that you mentioned there. Like, and what was nice about all of them is there's no BS. It was what do you need us to do to make it a little bit easier for you, because they all understand that we're full-time workers. You know, I've my own business. You're principal duty holder with one of the biggest facilities management companies in the country, so it's no easy feat. So it was nice that they understood that, and there was no talk of having monthly checks and all this kind of stuff. So it was nice. It was nice just to say what's going to make it easy for you, and bit of trust. So nice.
Well, looking forward to it, and as I said, a lot of conversations to be had, but I guess to roll on for this episode and keep the season rolling, we'll take ourselves back into Design Source Ireland's trade show in the RDS. We had a few more conversations with a few more people.
A few familiar faces as well.
True as well, and they're in the can right now. So I guess what we'll do, sponsored by Snickers and in association with Hager and N2, get into season 9, episode 2, Design Source Ireland Special Part 2.
Let's jump into it.
Hello, toys and bathrooms.
Hey lads.
And how you doing? So what we're doing is we're just walking around trying to get a feel for the event, the exhibitors at the event, and trying to see what yous are providing for the people that are coming in here, the footfall of tradespeople, designers, stylists, architects. What are you finding is the main thing that people are going to get from this event from what you've seen here today?
Okay, so just to give you a little insight about who we are, we're 52 years in business, and from Wexford, Tom and Sheila Doyle, founders of the company, and Patrick Doyle now is the owner of the company, has taken it over, and been in that industry for so long, masters of what they do, and Patrick has taken on, not only we got Wexford as our head office, massive showroom there, but we've also now opened up in Cork, in Middleton, and we are just about 4 weeks away from opening up in Sandyford, which is a state-of-the-art showroom. Our goal for Sandyford is to work with architects, interior designers. It's sort of a specification hub. So from that, we've introduced some amazing ranges from Europe, as in Italy, some of the most amazing tile factories that are there, some Portuguese products like new terracotta, hand glaze, made to order.
And would those colours be solely from the likes of the Portuguese and Spanish, maybe?
Inspired from that, like the range Burrow as well. This is a Portuguese company.
And you wouldn't see that in Ireland a lot, would you know? It'd be just basic colours.
Gives this bounce that's needed, and when people walk by, it draws them in. So we're often a sort of service we've got exclusivity for these ranges as well. So when they're specified with these designers and architects, we can bring it all the ways from specification point to order stage. So we're often, but from being here at the show, meeting interior designers and architects, this is going to feel for who we are. We're hitting the market very strongly now in the specification market. So, this show has been a real asset to us. So it's all good.
And in terms of, we've a good friend in the trade, Marble Master. He's a professional outfit in terms of tiling. Did you notice any tradespeople walking by? Was there any interest from the people in the trades?
Yes, we've had a few people from the same that we can collaborate with.
Yeah.
Like your colours work very well with the stands just down there. And actually, I was speaking to the architect earlier, and the two gentlemen walked by at the time, and they said hello to each other. And I saw them walking by again earlier after I spoke to that architect, and it's to do a 50s retro pub. But by them just collaborating and meeting, just in the pathway, we're actually going to work together and maybe
Brilliant.
try and bring the whole project together. So
That's what it's about, yeah.
It's not only the architects and designers, but it's actually connecting to the lights companies, to the
that's
table company down there. You know, it's about networking within the group of people who are all
we've
here as
mentioned
well.
it before, like the whole process of, you know, any type of project, like from the design stage to right through to the architecture end of it, to engineering, the trades, and then the styling at the end of it, all has to work in unison. And you all have to be otherwise it does become just this detached job or detached project. So to be able to get something working in unison right from start to finish is amazing. And I think getting to know people and getting to know who you're working with, right from the tradesperson to the stylist, is the goal there. You know,
the
key.
Brings it together, sort of a little like a family network of community. And this is our first time displaying at the design source. We sponsored the stage last year, and we sponsored it again this year actually.
Okay.
And we got a bit of traction from that. But having product touch and feel and communication, whatever, I think it's very positive. So
well, just looking at the display here, like we're seeing tiles here that I would have never seen before. So that's great. And in terms of interior designers, I'm sure that's something that they're looking to do and have something a bit more exclusive for their customers.
Well, we not only do what you see behind us here, but we also terrazzo, which has been reclaimed from building sites in Europe, and so you can imagine the sustainability factor out there alone.
Yeah.
We also work with Salvatore, which is one of the biggest natural stone companies in Italy, and it's actually all over the world. They've got a product called Litho Verde, which is 99% recycled product. You know, we're mainly keyed on focusing on products that are sustainable.
Sustainable as well, yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to tick all the boxes for all the certificates you can get, like LEED and BREEAM, and we've got the EPDs that go with all of our porcelains, ceramics, and natural stone. You know, so we are technically in tune with what the architects and designers need to, you know, to
fulfill what they need. Yeah.
There's a lot of questions that they can ask us, and we're here to help them. So
and they can be answered as well.
Does it take like an auxiliary mindset, like, or a different type of eye that's needed when you're looking at the likes of these colours? You see the likes of the tap and the shower and all behind you, which are colours that you might get in that, to be able to match them up and marry them together. Does it take a different type of skill or education that's involved with knowing what colours match with each other?
He doesn't have it anyway.
No, I definitely don't. 100%.
Well, for designers and architects, they have to know so much. So I guess when it comes down to us who are the specialists in ceramics or porcelains or natural stone, they can just give us an idea of what they're trying to achieve, what sort of look. And then from that, we can present to them, well, how about going with this, this? And, you know, it brings it all together.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's like what you said, and even having the, you know, professional link in with different professionals from other stands, like that might have like lighting knowledge and how light bounces off certain colours and light, and even surfaces and stuff like that. Must be a great thing to be able to get some knowledge on as well.
Yeah, of course. And there's also, you know, for areas like disabled toilets, for example, something has to be important for the LRV, which is the light reflexancy levels between the floor and the wall. There has to be 30 points difference.
Okay.
You know, it's things like that. We can give them that tiny bit more support before they say, oh no, but it's too late now, you've already picked that. No, we're here to help you. We give you that information. And slip resistance.
Yeah,
you know, there's a huge thing about slip resistance and PTV pendulum tests, and our knowledge on that is vast. And that's what we're here for, to help them to put it all together.
Brilliant.
So.
Just things we wouldn't even think about, you know. So we're learning here as well.
Thanks very much for taking the time and talking to us. And
absolute pleasure.
We hope that your experience here on the first day has been great. You've got another day to go on it as well. So we wish you the best for that. But thanks for talking to us.
You're very welcome, lads. Absolute pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
that.
much. Okay,
cheers. That's deadly.
I shall jump in one last time actually. So for Halo tiles and bathrooms, can you be found online, social media?
Yeah, so we are on social media. We've Instagram, and we are, like I said, we're opening up in Sandyford in 2 weeks' time. You're going to ask me what's the Instagram.
Yeah, I won't even.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll get you on there anyway.
Okay.
So he's available online anyway. That's the main thing. Halo tiles and bathrooms.
We're up in Dublin now
Type
as well,
it in.
so brilliant.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
No
Bring the
worries.
missus. Thanks.
Thank you.
Fair play to you.
The Stripped Back podcast, sponsored by Snickers Workwear Ireland, and Season 9 in association with N2 Electrical and Hager Ireland. So we're at Mullan Bespoke Lighting and we're talking to Edel. So we're here at Design Source Ireland in the RDS, and this is a stand that we would naturally be attracted to as electricians. But I guess, Edel, if you'd like to give us a bit of background on the brand and where it originated from and how you are looking to maybe, I think, produce a lot of lighting that might not be the natural type or normal type of lighting that we'd be installing day to day.
No, I just joked and say you wouldn't like to install it because they're a wee bit cumbersome. So Mullan Lighting originated in 2009. My husband was an architect, and as you can imagine, the recession happened in 2009, and the whole world of architecture went to hell. So he had to look at an alternative business. His father was an electrician, an electrical contractor, electrical wholesaler, and made electrical distribution boards. Okay. So he had somebody that knew a little bit about electrics. And then he had the architecture side of things.
He had the eye.
So they brought the two together, and we then started making, back in the day, it was still a recession, so our best seller was the Sacred Heart wall light that went under the Sacred Heart picture. Because everybody was praying to get out of a recession. Anyway, slowly but surely, we started kind of bringing new designs, colours, and like more modern kind of pieces, and that took us away from just like what would have been the traditional Irish pub route and more into bars, hotels, restaurant, hospitality, and here we are today.
Yeah, look, the pieces that we're seeing here are just absolutely amazing. As Stephen was saying, we were bottlenecked into the corner over there, and as Stephen said as well, naturally as electricians, seeing these pieces is absolutely amazing. Like how did it grow from the Sacred Heart lights into like what we're seeing here? In terms of like the animations and everything we're seeing with the pieces.
Well, I suppose we were. My husband's a great designer, but we were always being challenged by designers and architects in Ireland and abroad. They couldn't find a solution. Yeah. And we were so small, we only had 1 or 2 orders happening at a time. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, we'll try this, we'll try that. And so we basically started to get really skilled team that were able to kind of turn the hand to anything. So it went then to feathers and glass and there's acrylic and all sorts of random stuff. Like we even make keychains. We've done canopies for over cookers, and we've like all sorts of random stuff. Yeah. Because we were being agile and moving with what the customer asked us for. Yeah. And our team we were young and like enthusiastic team. They're like, oh, sure, we'll give it a go. I'm just kind of said, that's fine, we'll try. So we've then started to export. UK was our first market, then France and Nordics. Now America is our biggest market, and we've about 120 people now in the factory in Monaghan making lights that just goes all over the place. I think we've won over the Queen's toilet in Buckingham Palace.
Brilliant.
We've done the Mickey Mouse ears in Paris. So we've done all sorts of random stuff just because we bit of chancers and we're born in recession, so you just had to say
that's pure Monaghan as well, isn't it?
There's something about us. So yeah,
just the graft and the determination as well. But that's brilliant. And like being at Design Source Ireland, I presume that's a must do for yourselves. As in, you've got the architects, you've got the designers all passing the stand, and I'd say you're getting a lot of footfall and traffic here as well.
It's amazing. Like, so Ireland has been craving events such as this for a long time. There are other more consumer-facing events, but for the trade, this is fantastic. And to marry people up and to have the time to spend is really, really key. And even people that we know, like Lisa in the corner, is our the face of our Irish sales, but she's not a face because she's behind the screen, and to come here and they're like talking to her and they're like, Jesus, there's Lisa. And once you have that human connection, it's fantastic. So it's all great. We're a small island, but if you don't see each other, we're miles apart.
Miles apart,
so it's
exactly.
so important.
What's the biggest feedback that you've got from, say, tradespeople that have been walking through Design Source Ireland today when they catch these type of lighting? Is it hard to try and get them in to maybe turn their heads to try and find out about where they could actually utilise these on their jobs? Or is it something that where they're coming to you and they're thinking, right, maybe this is something that I can actually start to maybe push on my customers and my clients? Because I know yourself, Keith, like we spoke to him many times over there today, just alone, talking about just your basic type of downlights that go in, your standard type of installations in your houses. But the likes of these like would be a bit more bespoke. Like
one-off pieces.
Yeah, so is it tough to try and get that link with the tradespeople to try and find the right project for them, or is it they're coming to you?
They're coming to us. I tell you why they're coming to us. Look, we have a heap of feathers, we have a heap of colourful stuff, but that doesn't go in places. What sells for us is like the normal bathroom wall lights, picture lights, pendants over an island, all of that sort of stuff. But when they come here, they're not here to see that. They're here to see what you can do, but not what they're actually going to buy. So like when they go to a customer, it's like, okay, lads, we need to kit out the whole house or the whole interior of a bar, a hotel, or restaurant. And these are the basic stuff that go in that you don't see. They're just functional. But then you have actually the ones they're passionate about, the ones that are going to be the eye candy. And they do say lighting is like the jewellery on an interior. So you do need a few eye-catching pieces, but you only have a couple. Otherwise, you look like a mad person.
Are people craving that type of vintage style look, but in an energy-efficient way? Is that what people are looking for?
Yeah, 100%. So so what you would see here, we obviously have colours, but antique brass is we sell it over 60% of what we do is an antique brass. So we have like 50 different colours we do, but that vintage side, it just because it never ages. It goes into any kind of home, and throughout whatever kind of colour changes in walls or flooring changes and all that there, it just always lasts. It's timeless, and it's there. It's not obtrusive. It just kind of meets the eye, and it looks well forever.
Yeah. And talking about like networking and the likes of these events, you've obviously mentioned there Lisa and being, online, and I think that's the way people are sort of pushing their businesses now. Where can people find you if they were to leave this event and they were going to try and follow up maybe on social media? Have you got pages there where you are pushing the product out to? Yeah,
we do. We're mullanlighting.com and electricalwholesaler.ie. So we have 2 pages. Our Instagrams are versions of that. So
brilliant. And we get Lisa here in Ireland.
Lisa, she's going to be a great girl. She gets more compliments today because people don't know her, and then when they tell her that she's here, they're like, Jesus, she's still a great girl.
Cheers, Adele. Thanks very much for talking.
Thanks for stopping. Cheers. Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Cheers. Right, so we're just taking a bit of time out here at the show just to take a sit down in front of the Surface Wow stand, which has been a stand that's been on everybody's lips since we've got in here. It's something that I think is very eye-catching, Keith. Something that I think is beyond what you would see in any normal installation, I guess.
I know, this is not a straight out of the box installation that we're sitting behind us here, and we had a couple of early interviews today, and everyone was leading us towards this stand. So this is the kind of thing that you're looking to, see here at Design Source Ireland, and the type of thing that are, intriguing people to come to these type of things as well,
Yeah, and it's the thought process that goes into the likes of these stands. And I think the one that we're standing in front of or sitting in front of right now is one that's popping as soon as you walk in. So it's very eye-catching, colourful. Like, I mean, Design Source Ireland in itself, like when you see the yellow floor and the yellow designs, and obviously I've wore the yellow trousers in today, it's something that pops, you know what I mean? It gets people talking straight away, like, and it just gives people the idea that there's something just slightly different about this trade show compared to any of the other ones that you would walk around to that might be quite bland,
Yeah, and it kind of tied in with our new sponsorship as well, with Snickers Workwear as well. Their whole ethos the last couple of months is the yellow and the high visibility jackets and stuff like that, and they're also here sponsoring the section. It's kind of like the canteen or the eating area.
Talk to the trade section
as well. So it just made sense for us to come here and marry in with all of this as well. So
yeah, and it's like that, I mean, it's you're looking at talk to the trade section, so like that in itself is the key for this event.
Yeah.
It's getting a section of the floor where people can actually just maybe take a breather, grab a coffee, maybe grab a glass of water or whatever, just sit down. And you might be sitting down as an electrician or a carpenter or whatever it is, and the next person sitting across from you having that coffee is a designer or an architect. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what we said. Like when we were sitting over there, we got great chats with a couple of designers. I think there was an architect there as well, and a couple of the lads that we know from the trades. And it could have been made into a feature-length episode because the chats that were had were brilliant. And look, we made our contacts and for future episodes as well. So win-win.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've walked around here, like we've got chatting so far, like to a couple of brands like Graph and Stone, and they're telling you about like the products that they're selling in regards to paintwork that is sustainable and eco-friendly and healthy. And I know we mentioned at the start of the episode that we got a bit of a hint of what these products and brands are pushing out there for people, but to be able to get talking to the individuals at the stand and actually get delve deeper into what these products actually can offer for customers is great. Like, and then you take that information on then, and when you're talking to your customers and clients, then like you can relay that information to them, and it might just plant a seed for them to maybe go in that direction in the future.
Yeah, and look, it's no coincidence that these companies are here. These are all leading players in their industry, and like we've mentioned, a lot of them is you're really showing your face here at events like this, and it's no small feat to actually show yourself and put your company on the map, as it was.
Yeah, and how great is it even just for us, Keith? Like, you know what I mean? To put ourselves out there. We're used to doing the podcast in the studio at the best of times, and any type of trade event episodes that we've done before have been all audio based.
Yeah.
So to be able to get out here and actually visualize an event like this, like, and get it in front of the camera and walk around and talk to people, but at the same time giving people an idea of what the visuals actually look like, just brings a different element to the whole experience, not just for the people watching here, but for us as well being here.
Oh no, 100%. Getting our feet on the ground and in the mix with everybody is what we're looking to do, and we feel like we've only touched the tip of the iceberg in terms of the stories and the roads people went down to start their businesses, because behind every business, like, there is a story and there is a reason why they're doing it, and a lot of the people that we've talked to today and that we're going to talk to later on are going to share those stories with us, and they're going to show us, or they're going to tell us their insights. And if it helps someone listening to the podcast, or the episodes, or if there's a particular one that they want to hear, because they like the company, that's great for us as well.
Yeah, well, look, it is great, and it is a bit of a different experience for us. Like, and we're going to be in the studio out in Ashbourne and N2 Electrical for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
So to be able to get in here and meet people and maybe rack up a few contacts ourselves that could potentially be sitting across from us in that studio for the remainder of this year and maybe into next year as well is a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, no, brilliant. And look, anyone else wants us to come and do any of these events, we're always happy to do it, and we welcome it with open arms, and just really happy to be here.
Yeah, well, look, I guess we'll put our solid gear footwear to work. We'll get our sneakers back on the floor, and we'll get talking to a few more people.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go for it. Right, so we've got the International Trades Personality of the Year runner-up this year, but look, at the end of the day, we've got another chance at it again. But we've got Derek Barrett. Look, you've travelled over from the UK just to be here at Design Source Ireland. What has this event been like for you, coming in early and obviously getting stuck in as well?
Oh, honestly, I'm so proud. Like, I want to see more of this stuff in Ireland. Like, honestly, I was in England from 2003, did a university course in furniture, came back in 2007, and I set up a business, and it was tough going. You didn't know where to find stuff like this, and there's some good, like the Surface Wow and stuff like that. That's making me even like go, Jesus, if I ever move back. I've got places like that over here and there's still a few companies I'm suggesting to people over here that we have in England, that if they could get in talks with them, they help the lads out over in Ireland so much on the furniture side. But I'm delighted. I love seeing this. Yeah, I'm a big ambassador for that. Sure.
Yeah, it was great, and you got a chance to muck in with Richie and Royal and Co. And
a lot of respect.
From what we heard, you were a great help to him. So fair play to you.
No, I've all the time in the world for Richie, like a lot of people, and what he does for everyone. He wears his heart on his sleeve, like, kind of thing, and I have a lot of respect for that. So when he has his open days, I've been over the last 2 years, and I love coming back, and it's great because I have a lot of Irish following as well, and to see them, and they come up to me like they know me and stuff because I put a lot out there, and it will be one day I will come back.
Yeah. Are you seeing some of the similar trends now that in the UK happening here in Ireland as well from what you're doing, or is it a bit still detached between the two countries?
Not necessarily. Like people like Richie and there's other lads. That's what social media is for. Like, it puts it out there. No one came up with a micro shaker. No, like it's all adapted, and that's what it's about. It's not about that's my design. It's not. It's evolved. Everyone's designs. It's what you do with it, and but yeah, no, that's what social media is for. It really gives you inspiration. And I was saying to someone earlier about it's not about following 3,000-4,000 people, because I get some lads to come to me and go, "You don't follow me." I'm like, but I have respect for you, but you hang doors for a living. I want to see someone that inspires me. Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day, and if you're not, you need to follow people that one, inspire you, and two, give you ideas and go, "I like that. I could make that work on something I'm doing and that." But sometimes lads get a bit upset when they don't follow them back and stuff. It's not a private account.
It's a different era. Like, social media is a massive thing. Like, and obviously we've been learning as well through the podcast and trying to grow the podcast. But the likes of like the big names and the blue tickers, you know what I mean? And people try to aspire to be them. And if they get any type of follow back from them, it's like it's a tick off their mark. But the likes of yourself, like all you're doing is doing your work at the best of your capability and evolving it over time as well and posting it, and the reactions you're getting from it's amazing.
Honestly, like it's all at the end of the day, it's about being a better version of yourself a year on. Like, you look back and it's great to reminisce. It's great I love the end of the year when you do the post, and before you know it, you're like, shit, I did do a lot of work this year. I've actually done I actually did. Sometimes you put yourself down. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy in life, and you have to stand back sometimes and understand where you've come from and what. Like, I started the business in 2017, and this year is 9 years now. And I do feel like when I was 3-4 years, I had grown very quickly, fast, and I've got it to a stage where I'm steady now. But I always go, I want to have a little bit more. I want to have a little more. But it happens like that. But when I said to other people, it took me 3 years to hit 10K. And that 10K, 3-year anniversary, to be in business 3 years was such an achievement, and to hit that 10K the same year was so great. But people now can get 10K a lot quicker. Like, it could be a year in their thing. But it's not about, you could have 2,000 followers. I have 100, nearly 47,000. But if your views aren't keeping up with that, the person with 2,000 followers are more valuable to brands. So sometimes brands have to educate themselves in that. But I want to prove to myself that when I had an influence of followers in 2022 from one post went viral, 21 million, that probably gave me about 50,000 followers. And someone made a comment saying, "I guarantee in another 2 weeks he'll be back down because everyone will..." I wanted to, that made me prove them wrong. And I got it up to 108, 110, and I gradually, and then I got bigger. I had a few more staff, and I felt like I was in the office more, and I was regurgitating work.
That motor again.
This is it. And I've lost a few members of staff. There's only 3 of us now, my wife and another lad, Reese. We look bigger than we are on Instagram, but we've got a big unit. But staff is same as in Ireland. It's tough. And I know you're big ambassadors yourselves for apprenticeships and stuff, but it's just not being helped with the governments. They're just not helping. There's no backing. Like, I can't pay a 16-year-old lad £9 an hour to watch what we're doing and keep an eye on them. Because it's like back in the day when it was £3, £4, £2, whatever. That's understandably, like, you're learning. You're getting dropped off by your mother. You're drinking a can of Monster and you're texting your girlfriend. But you're getting more money than I was when I left university. It's tough.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
There's lads getting good grants and stuff, but I couldn't find the grants when I was looking. I was getting about £1,000 for 2 years.
Easy,
They ran it over here where they were, incentivizing, the companies to take on the apprentices, like they were given maybe £1,000 startup. But what happened is they just took advantage of it, and companies were taking on, the bigger companies were taking on 20, 30 staff, just to reap and then letting them go 6 months later, and using the manual labour, like
I see it in England as well. But it's I'd rather a lad not do an apprenticeship, come direct straight in, and literally at the end of the day, I've never gone into a job and had to show a CV. Like, if you're willing to work, the best lads I got working for me, I never saw a CV or anything. I just said, look, come in, prove yourself, and And the lad I have now, when he started with me, on paper, he came from working in HS2, like young civil engineer, got fed up of working on in that office at young age, liked DIY, but had the right attitude, and he was so moldable. And now he's flying it. He just showed me 3 wardrobes he knocked up today, and my wife was in Rubio and 10 grand's worth of doors and stuff. If I could get 2 of my wife, that's going to be a bonus, honestly, I tell you.
The golden ticket there, isn't it?
Yeah, but like in terms of this event, and introducing the trades into it, like we've seen a couple of tradespeople walking around today. Do you think the trades are maybe missing a trick if they're not coming to these type of things?
I can see it. I think you do have to pay to come in, don't you?
Now I'm talking electricians, obviously trade in your own right.
Yes.
But I'm talking about electricians, plumbers, people that like would be looking to integrate into the likes of yourselves with kitchen cabinetry making.
Well, this is it.
Richie, and designers here that have the eye and that can potentially give you some work as well.
It's definitely, honestly, I would say that to everyone in England. Like, we follow a lot of plumbers and electricians, and they're good on socials and stuff, but it's great to do these social events and meet each other and communicate. Like, I know nothing about electrician, I know nothing, but a lot of electricians know me, I know who they are. They're also in these big houses, these mansions.
Yeah.
They overhear the customer saying, I'm struggling to find someone to do my kit. Then boo, Richie Doyle, you can try him. You don't know who you're speaking to at the end of the day, and they're passing on your details. And customers are now following us trades as, like, I want to get that guy into my house. Like, it's not a celeb, but they already know you because you're putting yourself out there on socials and stuff. So,
That is your digital
and they know you might have a crew of lads behind you that for remedial works, like plastering works, maybe like if you are building something maybe for like a bulkhead or lighting in your units. Like,
absolutely. My electrician, he does amazing stuff. He does all my wire and lights in my building and that, and he'll have me on. He's in some amazing houses and stuff, and he always recommends me to anyone. They mightn't give the call, but at least it's another avenue of work coming through.
Bit of networking, yeah.
Listen, Derek, it's been an absolute pleasure having you at the event. Obviously, getting to link in with you, and hopefully your experience is something that you'll take with you, not just through today and tomorrow, but back over to the UK, and maybe
honestly,
we'll keep an eye on your socials. And you do follow us back, thank God.
And hopefully we.
I love the podcasts, and I love that. I love all podcasts that do. Like, even when you're talking to people that are not in the same trade, it's amazing.
You take something from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That's brilliant. Cheers, Derek.
No worries, lads. Thanks so much.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Cheers, lad.
Another episode in the bag. What a great look back on a great night in the RDS.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we hit almost any trade that has anything to do with design and construction, and the final finish of a high-end renovation.
Yeah, like you said, from lights to bathroom and tiling to carpentry, it was over the course of the 2 episodes now, it's been an amazing look into how I think the gap is being bridged between the trades and the designers, and long may it last.
Yeah, no, look, we really enjoyed it. We got talking to very interesting characters. There were interviews that we lost as well through audio issues with the sound in the RDS, but these are all people that hopefully we're going to tap back into and get them into this new studio that we've set up.
Yeah, I think we got talking to someone even late in the night as well. I think it was East Joinery as well.
East Joinery, yeah.
That had issues as well with sound, which was unfortunate, which was a great chat. So if you're watching this episode, it'd be great to get back in touch with you as well and maybe do that again and get that one out at some stage. But big thank you to you, Keith, for digging in and helping us get this across the line. I know it's been tough work and getting it done, but we got there. And I think we'll just keep working at it, keep adding to it, and see where it takes us over the course of 2026.
Yeah, same to you, Steve-O. Like, kids at home, they're screaming, looking for their dad. But it's good to be able to put a few hours aside for something that we like doing. It's like we always say, it's like a game of indoor football for us. It's a hobby. Like, our knees aren't able for the football anymore. So sitting here, maybe having a Guinness or a whiskey now in the next couple of weeks would be nice. And again, just want to thank all the sponsors that jumped on board this season. So main sponsor, Snickers Workwear Ireland, also in association with Hager. And again, thanks to Andy from N2 for supplying us with the venue and the hospitality.
Yeah, and just a final shout out as well to Edel and Florence from Design Source for accommodating us on the night.
Yeah.
And I guess if you liked what you heard in this episode and you want to hear more, head over to wherever you get your podcast, give us and our podcast a like or a follow, and then you'll be notified when the next one drops. Take it easy.
See you on the next one. Right, Deli. Help you out.